Once upon a time, there was a salesman called Jerry Lundergaard
Okay, real good then.
who always dreamt of striking it rich.
Wade, have you had a chance to think about that deal I was talking about, those 40 acres there?
So, we all set on this thing then? You want your own wife kidnapped. Now, her dad, he's real well off, so why don't you just ask him for the money?
But in a place called Fargo, anything can happen.
How's Gene?
Who's Gene? Circumstances have changed, Jerry.
What the heck do you mean?
Blood has been shed, Jerry.
Here's the second one.
You should see the other guy. Oh, geez.
Fargo.
Welcome to Fanboy and the Snob.
I'm
The
Chris.
Snob.
Welcome to Fanboy and the Snob.
Welcome to Fanboy and the Snob.
I'm Chris,
And I'm Chad.
and today we watched
Fargo.
Coen Brothers, 1996 masterpiece. I think
Don't you know?
it's definitely one of the best movies I've ever seen.
Did I tell you when I first tried to watch this movie, I had to turn it off because I was too drunk and it was too Wisconsin-y? I couldn't do it.
Oh, that upsets me because the first time I watched it, I was really drunk and I was like, I fucking love it. I want to go there. I want to be one of them. God, I love that setting. It's the best. The setting is so good. I really like, despite everyone having to put on like 5 layers of clothes to walk out of the house, and even then going, fuck, it's cold, even though they got gloves and like 3 hats on, and everything was white and like desolate.
I don't think I could deal with constant snow.
I could.
I fucking hate snow.
I love the snow.
Well, you don't, even with your job, actually working the pier in the snow is fun.
It's awesome.
But doing my job, delivering in the snow sucks.
Oh, I'm sure. It's fun to walk down the lines of cars like slipping on ice, being like, whoa,
Yeah.
and like,
If you fall, you can just fall into a car.
yeah, and then
Not like me, where you try to squeeze between something and fall and fuck your back. And
you're
you
also
go,
really fat, but
I'm a fucking jerk.
I like watching the cars spin. You know, that's cool. It's like, whoa, you don't know how to drive on ice, and then some Guatemalan guy who doesn't speak English is doing 360s in a fucking 911. You're just like, all right, get my paperwork ready.
Fargo. This movie starts out with, what's his name?
William H. Macy.
Talking to Steve Buscemi and that guy, we're going to forget his
Peter
name.
Stormare.
Peter Stormare. To do a job about kidnapping his wife to get money.
And it was going to be 80 grand, and then after her rich dad pays it, they would split it down the middle. You'd get 40, I'd get 40.
Mm-hmm.
That was the deal.
Plus the car.
Plus the car, which was...
They needed the car.
They needed the car.
Steve Buscemi was, my fucking car.
My fucking car. I got fucking shot.
I love Steve Buscemi.
Dude, again, Steve Buscemi, William H. Macy, Paul Giamatti, if they were better looking, they would be a like
Leading man.
top tier actors because they're amazing.
I think Brad Pitt and Ben Affleck are the only actors nowadays.
Scratch Ben Affleck off that list. Brad Pitt is still fucking good.
Ben Affleck's a great actor, though. I'm saying like good-looking guys being actors
Right,
and
and I'm
actually
saying-
being able to act.
Right, but comparing Brad Pitt to Ben Affleck is doing Brad Pitt an injustice. Did you watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Did you watch Argo?
I didn't want to watch Argo.
Oh, it was fine.
Ben Affleck.
I love Ben Affleck.
Yes, you have a boner for certain male actors, and you excuse everything they do. Just like Scott Adkins, you were trying to get me to watch one of his movies because you just
I watched it though. I watched
just
it.
wanted to jerk off to him.
I just want to watch his
shirtless.
fight scenes.
You just want to jerk off to him
Boyka.
shirtless. Boyka, but
He was in Undisputed 2 and 3 too, and we did that review. We were like, I don't know if he was in the other ones.
well, because I've only seen Boyka. Yeah.
Say we should have looked up.
Fuck it. That's not how we do things here. Anyway, back to Fargo. Yeah, so William H. Macy concocts this huge plan because somehow he's like $300,000 in debt. They never really go into it, but he's like, for 90s money, $300,000 in debt is like, that's like nowadays that's a house. But back,
I think he was in debt just because he put it all towards the thing, but he had to get the money to back it up to pay it off.
So
he got that loan.
So he took the huge, so he frauded, he took the loan out on those cars to pay for the lot to then get the grandfather to invest $700,000 in.
Yeah, so he'd make like what, 400,000?
Yeah. which is why he was pissed off about 10% of 700,000 because he was in the $300,000 debt. Yeah, William H. Macy's character is a real stand-up fellow.
He should have done some things. He should, right when he got the deal to get like the finder's fee, he should have been like, you know what? Fuck it. 20%.
What he should have done as soon as the lady went, is a car missing? He should have walked the lot and gone, holy fuck, a car's missing. You know?
Either that or just cry and be like, I didn't want my father-in-law to know.
Yeah, true.
I feel like
Do
he's
anything,
a weasel. That would have been the best.
His whole character is like, I love how he goes, now hold on, like, and everyone's like, shut the fuck up, you know?
Oh gosh.
Yeah. Steve Buscemi's character is the only one that swears, really. Scotty swears once, and they're all like, language.
That was great.
Yeah. Dude, the mom in this movie is such a good Midwestern mom.
Just when she's watching the TV there, and she
And
just
she's
looks
like
out the window,
laughing at Good Morning America. Like, an empty egg, is there an empty chicken out back? And she's like, oh, you know. And then she sees Storm Air trying to come in through the window.
It's so stupid. He looks around, he doesn't see her, just staring at
Well, that's the thing, though. Like, if you're sitting completely still, you know, your eyes, when you're doing that, you're looking for movement, you know? Because, like, I've tried.
He also wasn't that bright.
Well, no, I think he was bright. He never said a fucking word. He let Buscemi do all the talking. He let Buscemi do all the fucks ups. And then when it came down to it, in his mind, he was walking away with 80 grand. You know? He's also a psychopath who fucking executed a woman in a car.
Yeah, that was fucked up. She didn't even see your face, man.
That
was just left her there.
That was the best part of. That's what I told you starting this movie. I was like, dude, it's really funny, but then there'll be a scene where you're like, oh my god, that was dark.
I feel like to find this movie funny, you need to have like a fucking weird sense of humor,
or just like enjoy like people. It's a really good, like, every character in this movie, even the random side characters, like those two sluts, like you hear them talk for 5 minutes, and you're like, I get it. You know, like,
well, this movie does a good job being like, this is how people would actually act.
It's very, everyone seems like
it's not human. Like cookie cutter written, being like,
and there's no every character feels real. Like even the guy who was and when he finishes the story, and he goes, and that's the end. Yeah, like he's given all these details, and he goes, and that's it, you know, because he didn't know, because like it's not like a well-written story. It's like the character in real life didn't know how to end the story other than saying, and that's the end, you know. Like, it was so good.
Yeah, there's little things like that. Like, they do a good job not having like shove exposition down your throat. There's a nice flow to the story and everything in this movie.
There's no like Moose Lake moment. It's just kind of like really good police work, and you get to watch this. Dude, the way she works, like she was the ultimate good cop. Yeah, where she would just walk in the room with a smile. It'd be like, oh, is that your wife? Oh, that's
she's the ultimate good cop, where she didn't need a bad cop because just her smile was the bad cop.
And she's like a nice, just pregnant lady. But then you'll see her like, so any cars missing? You know, and it's just like, and then like you could see William H. Macy be like, you know, like, oh fuck, it was so good.
His character sucks so much in this movie.
He was
instantly like the instant he started getting grilled, he just fucking folded.
How dare you? You know, and it's just like,
I'll go count them now.
If that's what you want, then I'm, you know, for Christ's sake, and you like leave, and it's like
the most like polite outburst ever.
What about the guy? You're a liar. You're a fucking liar. Like, that guy's performance was awesome.
Yeah.
You lied to my wife. You lied to me.
It's like we're making a joke, like watching this is so Wisconsin-y, but I guarantee people in Wisconsin are like, oh, this is a fine movie, yeah.
It's the way she goes sometimes. I love it. I would, if I could live in 90s Wisconsin, I totally would.
Yeah.
That movie.
I told you, I need like a little bobcat to shovel the snow and all that.
And I told you can't train a bobcat to shovel snow. They're wild animals. I don't know why.
Put the thing in their teeth and just go,
what? Like walk behind it like it's an ox with a plow.
I love you so much. I'm sorry.
Jesus. You're just whipping a bobcat to death. Screaming, I love you, I'm sorry.
You just give him ice cream later and he's fine.
Wow. Yeah, have you ever seen
Bobcat really likes ice cream.
Their feet are like this. The back feet, they're like snow hair size. That's how they can walk on the snow. Anyway, yeah. Fuck, so much happens in this movie. There's like 3 different stories happening at once, and they're all connected to the same thread. And then when they all come together, it's fucking
Chaos.
but not really though. It's like controlled chaos. Like
It escalated quickly, then just went
yeah, and then
back
it just
down.
straight back down. I love the ending.
It's all Steve Buscemi's fault.
All right, the plan would have went perfectly if William H. Macy wasn't such a fucking rat-faced coward prick, and Steve Buscemi wasn't such a rat-faced coward prick. Everything would have worked if those 2 personalities weren't a part of it.
Because if he just handed him the money, and
Granddad was gonna
brought the fucking woman like they
but
said.
he wasn't. But he was mad because he was mad at the TV and he was mad at.
Yeah, he has a
Stormare.
control issue.
Yeah.
So he constantly does the whole thing. Nothing's working. He freaks out.
And he's like, he thinks himself to be a slick criminal, smooth talker, and the old in and out. Like he thought that was a clever lie, and he's like trying to bribe the cop with the 50.
Yeah.
And Peter Stormare instantly realizes, like, you see him, he goes from like stone face to like because he knows what he has to do now. Slams his head and then shoots him in the top.
Oh, that was so fucking brutal, dude. They had good bullet effects and weird effects in this.
Oh my god! And then that couple drives by.
You see the guy's face like, oh fuck!
Whoa, isn't that what you would? Dead cop, fucking criminal. I would. And then they try to get away, and there's a high-speed chase, and Stormare's still smoking his cigarette, and he's got his gun ready. Dude,
sorry,
who was it?
My mom.
Oof. So then this couple drives by,
and the fucking guy looks and he's just like, oh fuck,
dude. So he starts speeding, and did you notice when Peter Stormare jumps in the front seat and turns the car, there's the sign for icy roads? So it kind of tells you what's about to happen. Yeah. And then he chases the guy for a while, and the guy spins out and flips his car over, gets out. Peter Stormare, one shot to the back. Yeah, fucking like 100 yards away with a pistol, you know. Fucking really good. There's an Olympic event for 10 yards.
Like he got it literally, he's right in the center of his back. I feel like they should have
yeah, but they also
showing how cool this fucking
basically
guy is.
They were showing you like, this guy's a fucking murderer, be careful. And then he goes up to the lady in the car and she just looks at him, and then he like
I like how he does it though. He like kind of looks away so the flash doesn't get him.
He
and
like
stuff.
leans back so he won't get any blood spray.
Yeah.
And then when the cop finds her, he said it was a bullet wound through the hand, and then so she put her hand up to try and stop the bullet.
Like, this woman is probably too smart to be a cop in Wisconsin.
But that's where she wants to be, because they're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
They're doing good.
I would be so happy to be doing pretty good.
I agree. Like, I was looking at her in his life like, that's the dream. That's the American dream.
You're not rich, but you don't have to worry about money. You can go out and do stuff.
You're well respected in the community, and the community is nice.
Yeah.
You know.
It's not like going to Providence where you walk down the street
and
and
you
people
sketch the fuck out the whole time.
Yeah.
And Providence is a small city, so why should I feel threatened? I mean, I walked the streets of Chicago. I was like, oh my god, like you know.
Yeah, but I feel like you have more of a chance to get threatened in Providence than
Chicago because
people are just like
trying twice as hard. Yeah.
Ugh.
I used to watch videos of this Asian gang in Cranston that would hang out in front of a fucking ice cream shop and talk about how tough they were. And I was like, who is this for? And then I was talking about it at work, and this chick was like, yo, don't fuck with them. They've actually killed people. And I was like, but they're in front of a fucking ice cream parlor.
They just like ice cream, bro.
Talking about how tough they are. And it's a bunch of skinny Asian guys. I was like, I can fucking, come on, man. I'm not scared, but they have guns and stuff, you know.
Yeah, guns are the ultimate.
And they got a fucking chip on their shoulder because they're a fucking Providence gang, you know?
Yeah. It's like back in the day when I was buying pot off these kids that said they were into Bloods.
And
we
it's
were
like
smoking with, and they were trying to tell us blood stories, and me and my friends were like, thanks.
Yeah. Sure you are. And they're like, no, I'll prove it. You know, and it's just like,
cap gun. Gotcha.
It's like that Tekashi S9 kid, X9, who was like, I am a blood. And then the Bloods were like, okay, if you're a blood, we're going to do blood stuff. And they just like robbed him and fucked his girlfriend and shit like that.
New rappers, man.
SoundCloud rappers. Bunch of kids like me with fucking Fruity Loops that are like, I'm tough.
Yeah. Bunch of kids with a little bit of money being able to buy the equipment.
Mm-hmm. Not even Fruity Loops. I'll show you Fruity Loops later. Anyway, back to Fargo. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how to talk about this movie in chronological order. It spoils it completely. You
Yeah.
can't, because this movie is a series of events that you're watching from the perspective of three parties, all with the same goal of getting that girl out of there, right? Like that's all of their goals per se.
Well, the cop didn't know that she was kidnapped.
True, she was there. She was trying to solve a
She's
triple
trying to-
homicide.
Yeah.
Which, if you think about, is fucking. She's trying to solve a triple homicide, so she's looking for a real dangerous motherfucker.
Well, so it's a cop killer.
Yeah, and a cop killer at that. So she's like just putting her at 7 months pregnant in the center of an incredibly dangerous situation with a smile on her face.
She didn't even fucking hesitate.
Yeah, she didn't at all. God, she was a badass in that movie. That's how you do a strong female character, by the way. It's
Yeah.
exactly like that.
Well, nothing's subtle anymore.
Yeah, true. She had like
They have to have the quip in like, gotta have a woman do it.
she has to have. She didn't have the moment where she's jumping out of the burning building and she does like a front flip and lands and everyone's like, "Who's that guy?" And then it's me. Whoa, a girl can do that? Like they didn't have to do that fucking scene because she's the sheriff of police. You know she's tough. Like,
Yeah.
and she's smart because she was like she
Fucking
figured.
the only smart one in that town.
Yeah, she was like,
Like
oh.
watching this movie, she is literally the only smart one.
Or like I wouldn't say the only because again I maintain
What's
that
the guy's name?
who
The grandfather's friend?
oh
He was the other smart one.
oh yeah Gary Stan Grossman
Yeah, I
Stan
think
Grossman
so.
yeah Stan Grossman.
Well, Stan Grossman called. Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah? Well, listen, I had Stan Grossman look at it. Oh, Stan Grossman? Did you run it by Stan Grossman? I ran it by Stan Grossman. Yeah, he was great. And then even Stan Grossman meets with them when they're at the diner, and he's like, "Well, I gotta say, he's got a plan." And then William H. William H. Macy's like, "Even Stan Grossman agrees with me."
The grandfather's like, okay.
Stan Grossman says so.
And the time that the grandfather went off the edges, like
He didn't listen to Stan Grossman.
he wasn't there to
to
influence
bail
him.
him out.
Small town with only.
Did
a
you
couple...
see Grandpa getting it?
Huh?
Did you see Grandpa getting it? Did you see
Getting
that
killed?
Yeah. You saw that coming?
Oh yeah.
But did you see it like coming from the moment they introduced Grandpa? Did you see that as that being his character's end?
Oh no.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
I didn't think he was gonna die that fast.
I
in
thought
that confrontation.
I thought there'd be more of a shootout or something the first time I saw it, but I thought the shootout.
That's how shit happens. There's no
Exactly.
fucking in sword fights. There's no king, king, king. It's slice dead.
It's literally like block, got ya.
In gunfights, it's like somebody's gonna get hit or nobody's gonna get hit.
Exactly.
And Steve Buscemi was the fastest quick draw.
Well, he pulled it and Grandpa just looked at it. It's like, and Grandpa also, his hand that was closest to his gun was holding the suitcase.
Yeah.
Like you never want to reach across, you just want to pull up, So Buscemi just pulled up and shot, and he would have had to reach.
Oh, he didn't need to do that too.
He didn't need to shoot him at all. He would have got the million. But
Well,
Grandpa-
he didn't have the daughter.
Right. But the daughter, Stormare, didn't know Buscemi was doing this. Buscemi just left. Remember? Because he's going crazy up in that cabin. You got any girls? Hey, pal, that ain't that kind of place.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you I killed some fellers.
Well, did they know the fucking wife was dead?
Yeah, because Stormare beat her to death because
It's like-
she was... Do you see all the blood on the oven? He just bashed her head on the
Didn't
oven.
even notice that.
Yeah, they show the oven. They show her feet and it tracks up and her head's behind the pole, but you see blood going all down the oven.
She's still attached in a chair too, so that means he had to like
He
pick
just-
her up in the chair.
Or just grab her by the side of the head and just bash her head
Yeah.
and then dropped her.
He deserves to die.
He was 3 people, her, and 5 people. Serial killer. He's going to jail forever. He's getting executed. Like you don't get to keep living after you did that.
Yeah.
Right?
Did this movie have like a score?
Very subtle, just
I don't remember music at all.
There was a
in this
lot of
movie.
strings,
Yeah.
just
Kind of like elevator music.
like
It's
very
there.
soft, kind of wispy, but it would cut out when the action started, like all good movies should do. Cut when she pulled the gun on Stormare, the music went from being this like kind of like inquisitive, kind of apprehensive to silence. Right? Dude, did you know about the wood chipper scene?
No.
So you hadn't heard about the wood chipper
I
scene?
had no idea that was happening.
I knew about
That's why when it came up, I was like, oh, fuck.
I knew about the wood chipper scene because someone explained it. They were like, dude, in Fargo, a guy gets pushed into a wood chipper. And I was like, that sounds brutal. I want to see that. But I didn't know That was the recommendation that made me watch the movie. So I get to the end of the movie and I'm hearing the wood chipper and I'm like, sounds like a snowplow or whatever, or a leaf blower. Like, I'm not thinking like, oh, this is the wood chipper scene. And then the camera pans and you just see all the blood on the snow and Peter Stormare forcing a human leg.
Yeah, he gets a fucking 2x4 and just tries to like push it in.
And then she's like, police, and he doesn't hear, and then he looks up and she points to the badge, throws the log at her, and runs out onto the ice, and she fires like 3 shots.
I love the stupid little things they do like that. Like he's standing right next to her. Obviously, he's not going to hear her.
Yeah.
Till he hears like that little, and he's like, "What was that?
What was that?" Just looks around,
she's
sees her, eyes open wide, because he knows he's gonna go. He would have died though if he got to the center of the ice, because that's where the ice is weakest. So he would have just run out into the center and fallen through and drowned.
Yeah, but that's why I don't think he's smart.
I think he thought he was fucked, and he was like, no matter what happens, I'm just gonna either I die out there or I die in prison. Fuck it, I'm gonna go for the, because maybe it won't break, you know.
I feel like he was tough enough where if she came up to him and tried to do the arresting thing,
he could have beat the shit out of her.
Yeah.
Thank God he ran. But she had a gun on him. He was probably anticipating, oh, she won't shoot because it's a lady or something, you know. But as we know, our cop is a badass. Dude, she handled that dinner scene so fucking well. Oh, how about you sit over there? I prefer you sit over there.
Ooh. Yeah, there's a scene where she meets up with an old. She has to go. What's the town called? Twin Lakes.
She goes to the Twin Cities.
Twin
she goes
Cities.
to Chicago and Detroit.
And she calls a friend, being like, "Hey, you know any places I can eat?" And he's like, "Yeah, the Rassin." So they go to the Rassin.
Is it nice? Is it reasonable? Yeah, right. Those are the 2 questions you ask when to rest. Is it nice? Is it reasonable?
Like, how many money signs does Google say it is?
Yeah. 6.
Oh fuck no.
Those restaurants.
But she goes to the restaurant, meets up with a friend, and dude is just laying it on pretty thick from the beginning.
Yeah. Like, it's super obvious. Oh, I saw you on the news. Oh, you were always so nice to me in high school.
It's like, oh, you don't mind if I sit here? And she's like, actually, I'd like it if you sit over there.
Then he tells a sob story about how he married a girl and she died of leukemia, and then he starts crying about how lonely he is, and she's like, whoa.
That was a desperate plea to get the sympathy fuck.
Because it goes to the next day where she's talking to a friend, and they're in oh, you met up with so-and-so? Did you know his wife died of leukemia? Oh, he wasn't married. What? Yeah, he's got
like
psychological issues.
Yeah, he's living with his parents right now. He's not doing that good.
He was stalking the woman he said died of leukemia. Yeah, he's not doing too. And she goes, oh well, you know, like,
That's fucking so scary. Imagine meeting up with somebody you haven't seen in like 20 years and finding out you might have been this close to just being fucking raped, killed.
Yeah, that's why I like her character, because she learns that information and she goes,
She processes it.
yeah, and she goes, well, it didn't happen, and now I know to be fucking aware of it.
Yeah, I'm going to avoid him at all
Yes.
costs.
I am 7 months pregnant. God, that's just that one scene where she's laying next to her husband and she goes, we're doing good.
Yeah.
It's like, that's what that movie's about. Dude, her husband is painting ducks for his stamp, and he gets the 3-cent stamp. But so-and-so, his rival, got the 23-cent stamp. And you know what she says?
More people get.
More people buy the 3-cent stamp. And it's like, that's how you got to look at life, man. That's what this movie's about. Why would you kill someone for $80,000?
Like the point she was, what was she saying to him? Like, it's just money.
It's just money.
You're doing all this for money, but
It's such a beautiful day
and
out.
yeah.
I don't get it.
And even I think her saying it's a beautiful day out, having it be a whiteout, is
Yeah.
her being like, even this was beautiful.
Yeah,
Like,
even
any
this
day.
is more beautiful than killing someone for 80,000. This movie is so good.
Yeah.
It's dark, it's funny, but it's still kind of uplifting. It's got a great it's definitely, I think it might be the Coen Brothers' best movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? I think I'd go that far. Cuz like I said, it deals with a lot of fucking issues.
It has a great story.
Great
fucking
characters.
actors and characters.
Amazing. Like they cast for talent, not for fame.
And just like it had like, it doesn't need special effects, but just the way it was plainly made. And they had like, even when the guy the grandfather gets shot and he's wearing a big fluffy, it has a little thing go poof, and you see like the fluff come out and everything.
Yeah,
just like,
and it's like a burnt hole because the gun would burn through the acrylic.
but they don't do that anymore.
No.
Now you'd see just like a red hole.
CGI blood.
It would just be a red hole, no fluff coming out or anything.
Or it would be a CGI travesty thing.
Yeah.
You know, like Or Buscemi would have shot him like 4 times before he went down and
Yeah.
said like a quip or something, or the grandpa would have went like, "Oh, I'm wearing a vest," and he's like, "Nut on your face," you know, like it would have been something stupid like that, you know.
No, but this movie, it's definitely a good surprise because like everybody's told me to watch this movie, and I'm like, it's probably gonna be stupid. It's probably not gonna be that great.
That's again the recommendation I got because I knew about this. I've known about this, you know, like you know about this movie. You hear about it all the time. But the recommendation to me was some guy gets forced into a wood chipper, and I was like, that sounds.
See, my recommendation would be, it's not my favorite movie ever made, but it's fucking good.
It's up there.
Yeah.
It's definitely one of my. I noticed that I say "you know" all the time, and I think it's from this.
Don't you know?
Just oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
oh yeah.
I wonder how many times I say "oh yeah" in this movie.
Just that one scene with the 2 sluts and her, where they're just like,
Oh god.
"Go Bears!" Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, what do you look like? He's funny looking. Funny how? In a general sense. And that's the way everyone describes him.
If I was a fucking cop having to interrogate people, I'd bash my head into the desk.
You should talk to my dad about it because there's a lot of times where my dad's going, just tell me what they look like.
Does he have a mustache? Does it
How
look like a
tall?
Diddler mustache?
I'll put him in jail and he'll never bother you again. Just give me a description. Oh, I don't know. I didn't get a good. And it's like, I'm here to help. Like, what the fuck?
This movie also had really cool cinematography.
Oh,
All the stuff
such
going
a
on.
beautifully shot movie.
Yeah.
The fact that it's set in winter, so everything is either white or
I
gray.
love winter movies.
It's almost like they'll do scenes of landscape and it looks black and white, and you're like, no, that's just upstate Wisconsin. It's just
Another good, like, kind of well shot winter movie. I know you won't watch it, but it's the Krampus movie.
I'm curious.
It's so good.
I
It's
heard
so
the sound-
fucking stupid.
What I'm in,
Sound design's cool.
that's what I hear. The sound
Yeah.
design is the reason you want to watch it.
No,
'cause
the effects they have like practical effects in it with like the monsters. And
I
stuff.
like Dead Snow.
That's so good.
I think that's a fun winter movie.
That was the first movie I watched with Patty.
Oh, that's gay. I don't like it anymore.
Sorry.
Yeah, nose is a little bigger than you think.
No, but yeah, I recommend this movie highly.
I recommend this movie highly. This movie is one of my favorites. Well, thanks for watching our Fargo video. My name's Chris,
I'm Chad.
and we recommend the movie because it's kind of funny.
End of story.